Travis, thanks for joining us. So you are a content marketing specialist from Pandadoc.
Glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming on. So tell us, first of all, what is Pandadoc?
All right. So my elevator pitch for Pandadoc, we are a all-in-one document automation platform.
All right. So that sounds like something people should have. So what is that? Is that like digital documents? What is that?
So if you need to create, send, track, e-sign, or process payments on electronic documents, Pandadoc allows you to do that all in one.
Well, that sounds like everybody needs that, especially now, right?
Especially in the last 6 months, we've seen a huge uptick in the number of users for us. And I know we'll get into it in a little bit, but the number of new industries and verticals that we're seeing who didn't need this before, but need it now, education, healthcare, they need digital documents for obvious
So
reasons.
only organizations and businesses that need contracts.
Yeah.
Which is all of them.
Exactly.
That's right. And so, but it doesn't have to be like a credit card payment or anything like that. It can be just confirm that you're enrolled in school, or
a field trip form.
Yeah,
not
that's
that
a good
they're going
point.
on field trips, but did they get this form? We need a parental signature. We emailed it to them. They get a Pandadoc. They're able to view it, sign it all from their phone, and send it right back.
That's brilliant, and that is extremely relevant. You guys are not a teeny tiny company. You guys are actually quite large, right?
Yeah, so we're at about 350 employees right now. We just finished our Series B funding of $30 million.
Oh, wow.
We're in full-on growth mode, and we're expected to be at about 480 employees in the next 6 to 12 months.
Wow. Well, I can tell you that there is a platform in marketing that's pretty popular for doing some of the stuff that Pandadoc does. It's called Proposify.
Yep.
And you guys are actually searched for 3 times more online. And you can confirm this with Google Trends. You're actually 3 times more popular of a search term than Proposify.
Our SEO team would be like patting themselves on the back right now. Yeah, it's been a long time coming, but especially in the last year, we've seen a big uptick in our users. We're at 20,000 plus users, and
Wow.
we launched a freemium product. We were already going to launch it, but we kind of sped it up right when everyone was forced to kind of work remotely. And that freemium product allows users to basically upload as many documents as they want,
Okay.
make them electronically signable. They can also process payments through a free payments processor and send it out to anybody. So this is huge for freelancers. This is huge for anyone that just needs a free e-signature product.
Wow, that's phenomenal. And so, gosh, I mean, that's such a great way to get people to introduce them to your product and get them to try it. And I suppose that you're creating content about that, right?
Absolutely. So one of our goals is for those folks who see the value in Pandadoc's free product, but they also want to kind of dive a little bit deeper than just electronically signing documents.
Yeah.
Maybe they need analytics on their documents. What happens after I send it? Those are tools and features that they can get by upgrading to a paid plan, whether that's an individual user or an enterprise plan. Got them all.
And you're creating content about that, right?
Absolutely.
That's your job as a content marketing specialist.
Yeah, so I created multiple videos that explain why did we make e-sign free? What do you get with the free e-sign plan? And all of those are on our YouTube channels, on our social channels. They live on the actual landing pages so that when somebody signs up, they're going to see my face explaining what they're about to get.
Got it. So it's not just video though. It's also writing and lots of other channels of content, correct?
Yeah. So with a team of about 30 different marketers on our team, we've got product marketing, customer marketing, content marketing, all kind of driving our efforts to help people along the funnel. So whether it's writing up emails, whether it's writing up landing page copy, whether it's putting together, display ads and retargeting ads, all of that is content that we're going to be generating.
That's huge. So how important is it for marketers out there to be using multi-channel strategies for their content?
Multi-channel is really the only way to go. You and I were talking about this earlier, which is people don't just see one piece of content and then they're signed up. I mean, that happens occasionally if it's a really good piece of content, but it's going to be rare. They're going to be touched in, email, social. They're going to go to our website. Maybe they're looking at a YouTube video. It's kind of attacking them from all angles.
Gotcha. And so is this something that you just wake up one morning and be like, hey, I'm going to write this content today? Or do you have
basically,
another?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
No, man.
Okay, you're playing with me now. All right, so you don't just react to create the content. Like, what do you do instead?
I would say sometimes it is reacting, right? Like when COVID hit,
okay,
it was
so that's
unprecedented.
fair.
We didn't know what was going down, and we wanted to be there for our constituents, our stakeholders. But when it comes to like organizing and kind of operationalizing how we create our marketing content, we work off of a content marketing framework.
Okay, so that sounds pretty significant, right?
Yeah.
So what goes into a framework?
So we basically are going to reach out to our subscribers. So anyone that signs up for Pandadoc
so subscribers,
blog content, we reach out to our paying customers, our free customers.
Got it.
And then we'll also reach out to stakeholders within different departments. You know, we'll talk with customer support leaders at Pandadoc, sales leaders, and just say like, you guys are in the field, you're talking to folks. What are you hearing? What are you seeing? How can we help you?
So that's multiple channels of stakeholders that you're communicating with to help develop a content marketing framework. And so when you talk with them, you're developing themes of content that so those would be conversations of content.
Yeah, absolutely.
Topics, things like that.
So an example would be we started seeing an uptick in healthcare inquiries.
Oh.
So when we reached out to our sales team, they're like, hey, we don't have any documentation or any content to give our prospects who are in healthcare. Can we, it was more than just like, can we get a one-sheeter?
Yeah.
It was like, we should create portions of our website that talk about this. Hey, aren't we HIPAA compliant? Oh yeah, we should really talk about how important.
That's kind of important.
That is. So broadcasting all of that and having it culminate together.
Well, I will tell you, as someone who's done B2B marketing for a very long time, that one of the top things you can do when you're marketing to businesses is that the business knows that you're not learning on them, right? To be able to show a use case or that you've been successful with other businesses just like them is extremely important. No one wants to pay you to learn about them.
Yep. One of the ways that we did that is kind of rethinking how we do case studies.
Okay.
So we put together, when we were reaching out to our customers, part of my initiative was to hop on Zoom calls with some of our customers and just ask, how are they doing? What's been going on with you guys? How have you been pivoting? How have you been positioning yourselves? Good, bad, ugly? We want to hear it. And then we would talk about like, did Pandadoc, has it been helping you at all? And in a lot of instances, they were like, yeah, we wouldn't have been able to do this, this, and this without you. Cool, that's a soundbite we just got from you.
Absolutely.
We're going to put that together and mash it together with a bunch of other sound bites from other customers, and we put it into a fun animated video that sits at the top of our case study page.
That is extremely powerful content.
Yeah.
Extremely powerful content. I mean, that's evidence that it works. So part of your secret sauce is this marketing framework. You get with stakeholders. How often, and I mean, again, the point of this podcast today is to teach other people out there doing marketing more about content marketing. You're someone who's doing it at a very, very high level. When you're doing this plan for this overall framework, how often are you meeting with stakeholders?
We probably should be meeting with them even more often, but I would say we survey our group twice a year.
Twice a year. So you would want to see it quarterly then?
I think just to have a pulse on what's going on. Sometimes things change faster. This year especially, things are changing much more rapidly. But I would say at the beginning and end of the year, we kind of are figuring out what's going on. And not just like what's going on with you, but it's also like what kind of content and how do you want to see that content? So we might say, do you want more ebooks? Do you guys still like ebooks? Do you want short form video content? Do you want more podcasting? What's interesting to you? And they'll stack rank it and let us know like more podcasts, fewer ebooks in our most recent one.
That's incredible feedback. And so when you survey these stakeholders, I mean, what's the numbers that we're talking about? Like how many individuals are we talking about?
I would say we sent it out to about 120,000 emails.
Oh, wow.
And we probably got...
So everyone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically our entire... every email we have in the database is just like, what do you want to hear from us with?
Yeah.
And we weren't expecting a huge number of people. You know, when you do surveys, you don't expect to get 100% of people to respond. If you can get anywhere from a 5 to 10% response rate, that's awesome.
Yeah. And so but you typically, people who are opening emails, answering surveys, they're your most engaged users.
Absolutely, right? So you got to take it with a grain of salt. Those are the people that are most engaged. Well, what about the people that aren't engaged? That's a harder nugget to crack. We do have a customer advisory board, and then we also, do surveying with other companies. We've used G2 and partnered with them to do some pretty big surveys of what other business leaders think. We incentivize sometimes too with our surveys and give them a little swag or a little gift to say thank you for
that's nice.
Giving us your feedback.
Like another free month.
Exactly.
That's what they want. All right, so we're creating content. We're doing it multi-channel. We're syndicating on our social. We're syndicating on podcasts. We're publishing it to our website. How many pieces of content are you guys doing at the size of an agency you are? And what do you recommend?
Yeah, so for us, we look at it on a quarterly basis. So I know we've talked about like how many blogs are you putting out a week? We look at it much more on like a quarterly basis. So my numbers are, we produce 6 podcast episodes every quarter. We put together a minimum of 3 co-marketing webinars every quarter, so one every month. We probably publish 2 to 3 blog posts a week. And then we do 1 short form video a week as well.
Wow.
I think that doesn't include SEO use case pages that we're building out. We probably do 1 to 2 of those a week as well, just to keep the SEO kind of churning, keeping things relevant. And we're constantly experimenting and editing our website copy. And button placements, advertisements. So none of that stuff is included in those numbers.
But that seems like a significant amount of content. And you guys, you said you had 35 people in your marketing department-ish?
About 35. We've got customer marketing, content marketing. We have a brand and design team. We have a web development team, and product marketing as well. Okay.
And so what would you, so do you have to be that size of a marketing department in order to do this? Or can you be smaller? Like most, there's a lot of small businesses out there that don't have that size of they may be less than 35 people total.
Absolutely. I would say what we recommend is, I didn't work at a team this big 3 years ago. I was working on a marketing team with 3. And the number one recommendation I would have is, when it comes to creating content, really look at your ICP, your ideal customer profile. And figure out what kind of content are they going to want at different stages of the buyer's journey.
So your ICP, your ideal customer profile, we're famous for acronyms in marketing, right? So we typically call that just the bullseye, right? So when we talk with our clients and we're trying to just break it down very simply for them, we talk about, we always want to market to your bullseye customer first.
Exactly.
And then we'll start worrying about the outer rings. But let's quantify the bullseye. How many of those ideal customer profiles are there? It could be 700 in America, right? Well, let's rank the ones that we want to talk to first. And what are those strategies we're going to use to get to those people and prioritize that bullseye and then work out from there. And so when you are trying to reach those people, what are some tactics that you can use to get in front of those ICPs?
I would say, as a content marketer, and I know people might have differing opinions on this, but email is a great way still to share your content.
Email's coming back. It's an owned channel.
It is an owned channel, and people don't realize how important that is. But we're also seeing a big push on organic social. So I would say those are the 2 main ways that we're able to syndicate our content. And if you're a smaller team, you still can do content. It's figure out who's the bullseye, who's the ICP, and figure out what you have the ability to do. Not everybody can put together an amazing podcast studio like this.
But
maybe you can outsource it. Maybe you can have your C-levels, you pay X number of dollars a month to come be on Bake More Pies podcast, and you use that content to transcribe it into a blog article. You put it out in an email, and then all of a sudden you've got a face to this company that a lot of people were like just cold emailing from. And it's like, no, we're trying to help you with some cool content too.
That's cool. One of one of the things we're really big on around here is we love Dale Carnegie training, and they're really big on public speaking and how to become a better speaker. And we're speaking right now, right?
Yes.
Well, one of the tricks that Dale Carnegie teaches you is that talk about things that you've earned the right to talk about. It won't look like you're reading from a script.
Correct.
And we don't have scripts here today, right? We're just talking about things we know about marketing and content marketing. And so I love authentic content, and hopefully that's what we're creating today.
Yeah, it's huge though. I think that's a piece that a lot of people don't understand. They think a lot of people might think that they need a lot of equipment or an amazing backdrop. You can create authentic, content even if you don't have a huge budget. You can do it from your cell phone, walking down the street.
Sure. There's a lot of people with cell phones making content.
But I love that quote, man, of creating content that you have an authority to speak on.
Yeah. When you've earned the right to talk about it. So you guys integrate with a lot of other platforms. So like HubSpot, Zapier, whatever you want to call it. Zapier is how I like to say it. But that's one of the things that Pandadoc is famous for. Do you ever collaborate with any of those integrations on the content creation that you're doing?
Absolutely. That's our secret sauce. I mean, That's what I've learned through and through in the last year and a half of working at Pandadoc, is because we have such good relationships with our native integration partners.
Okay.
We're able to be like, hey, we worked on this integration. Can you put me in touch with your marketing team?
Yeah.
Great. We're going to connect on LinkedIn. We're going to have a quick Zoom call. We would love to do a lot of the heavy lifting on a piece of content with you guys, but we'd also like to have it syndicated through you. Do you have any interest? What's your content marketing calendar look like for the next 6 months?
So theoretically, if we were talking about HubSpot, HubSpot users are your ICP. They are also your ideal customer, right? HubSpot isn't trying to be a digital signing platform necessarily, or a content generation,
not
dynamic
yet at
content,
least.
Right? It takes a lot of work to build what you guys have, and you're not trying to be a CRM, or marketing automation tool, right? So that's a perfect example about how you might co-market with another company who's like swim laning towards the same customer, right?
Absolutely. We have found, especially working with partners who are willing to put in the resources. So where this might go wrong, and I've run into this before, is you might partner up with somebody who they have a marketing team of one, they're swamped. This isn't a priority for them. But we've run into many cases where it's like, oh my God, we're chomping at the bit to do some content with Pandadoc.
Absolutely.
Can we please, let's hop on a podcast. Let's do a webinar together. Let's write an ebook and then publish it and advertise it for 3 weeks together, and we'll get it done. Got
it. Well, so we one of the things we like to do here is we like to guarantee that people who are watching this are going to learn one thing. I hope everyone here who's watching has learned at least something today. Last question, where is content marketing going?
I think where content marketing is going is what we're doing right now. I think it's figuring out how to leverage video and multimedia marketing and spin it into all the other different channels.
Yep.
I really firmly believe that, especially in the US, we're a nation of consumers. And in times like these, all we need is content to keep us distracted.
Sure, right, exactly. Like we're distraction, and usually that distraction happens on this device right here.
Absolutely.
Right. So these things are really good at video, right? And so I'm a huge proponent of what we're doing right now. I mean, we're going to end up transcribing this conversation. We're going to post it on our website, our social media platforms, not just one or two, probably three.
It's starting a dialogue through short form video. I mean, TikTok, they're doing crazy things over there. And I think that's where everything's heading. That's what I see.
Yeah, for sure, especially with the younger crowd. One of the things that I love, a great tip that I like, is that, again, if you've earned the right to talk about a topic, there's really not a ton of preparation that goes into it, right? I mean, you're living it, you're studying it every single day.
Absolutely.
Right? So it makes it a lot easier to create this content. And then when you transcribe it into text, then it becomes SEO crawlable, et cetera, and it makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, I think content should be designed to both inspire, educate, and if the company is willing to and they're in a position to, entertain.
Yeah. Well, Travis, thanks for your great words of advice. Appreciate you coming in today, and would love to have you back.
Absolutely. Thanks.
You're welcome.